Maybe I'm just a bit of a glutton for punishment. Maybe I feel like I can't start the weekend off without subjecting myself to some level of idiocy. Maybe I just have an addiction to streaming and being live because it is quite fun. But for whatever particular reason, particular catalyst makes me decide to do these things, we're live. This time, instead of doing everyone. Okay, that fell. Instead of doing a live stream on everyone's favorite felon, I thought I might as well just see what happens if I go into Google and type, or not Google, YouTube, and type evolution is false. And I got a couple of videos on the subject of evolution is false. And I thought, this might not be that long a stream. Could be, who knows. That I might want to do a little live reacting to those and us have some fun hanging out. First person in is Austin. Yo, buddy, how you doing? Uh, it's not that I'm trying to grift for money, but if I reach a goal of like I think it's 10 super chats, I totally got a Kim Ham, Ken Ham video lined up. Just saying, if people have the means and want to make stuff happen. Over at Sal Cordova today. I have no idea who or what that is. I'm going to have to learn things down the line. This is what Discord is good for, us sharing the craziness. But right, to get to what I was intending to, because I could just ramble all day. Da-da-da-da. Austin pops up with, I know about him, but I never looked that deep into his stuff. I assume it's because he had PhD. There'd be smart. He'd be smarter than the other creationists. No, isn't the case. He's dumb as fuck. Ooh, gonna have to check that out. This was the most recent upload at the time. This video titled The Theory of Evolution and Why It's False. It's a minute 39 seconds. I'm not expecting much from it. Had like 50 views or so. Let me go back and see. Yeah, 52 views, one comment that's, just floating in the ether. So let's see what happens. And, my YouTube recommendations at this stage are all kinds of fucked up. We got a short featuring some, Donnie and somebody. We got Star Wars, Hayden Christensen stuff, and we got fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Man, my YouTube recommendations are all over the fucking place. But let's get to whatever this is. Double check. Everything looks good. Okay. Let's do it to it.
And also, I have for anyone who wants to be a smart aleck and start going, oh no, I follow science because I'm a smart guy. Let me tell you something, smart guy. You're not as smart as you think because every single Muslim, true Muslim, also follows science. But science is a tiny factor of the bigger image. God created everything. God created all mechanisms. Science is a mechanism. Now, I'm also going to branch off right now to evolution.
Well, this is an excerpt from something longer, or it's just a follow up from some rant. I don't know. I think we're missing some context here, but not enough to really change things. Let's note the immediate just attribution of logic that people came up with, methodologies, the very nature of reality to a deity. Problem number 0 with theistic thinking of this caliber is that everything's got to be, just from a deity. It can't be another way when that's literally not how anything works. It's completely bass backwards. This dude seems really upset about it. Like, really upset. Let's see where he goes from here.
People start talking about, oh, evolution, God doesn't exist. What are you talking about? Evolution is a miracle. Evolution is a miracle. I'm going to talk about this in the future. But also, when you're saying evolution, if you're referring to evolution as in the fact that we came from monkeys and we came from apes, you're an idiot. Now,
Oh man. There's the joke about the angry atheist. We got the fucking angry theist right here. Like, this dude is just pissed. It's like he hadn't gotten his daily workout in and he's just fucking roid rage or something. Good lord. Oh man. I would love to go back in time and just be like, hey, young me, don't be this cringe. I mean, I never thought like this guy, but man, just like make sure that you don't look like this because it's just as cringy as any other perspective. Just fuck. Oh, I needed a laugh in my life today. It was a good day. I just needed this kind of laugh.
The liberal schooling system actually teaches this garbage to children and calls it factual. It's written in science books that I got taught that we came from monkeys. Like we started off as a tadpole, and then we developed into a monkey, and then we became a caveman. All of this.
Oh god, the classic ass misconception on anything related to the actual facts because of potentially analogies, potentially simple drawings, any number of things that will instill an incorrect literal interpretation of things into someone's head. And of course, he's got to throw in political agendas, this liberal thing. It's like, no, it's fucking science. And if you want to politicize science, then there's a problem there. And by doing such, by saying that, oh, all these facts and all this science and all this fucking reality is attributed to this group that I must be against, then what you're saying is that your group is intrinsically against science, logic, reason, etc., which is pretty fucking funny of an admission because it is the truth. Not trying to get into political things here, but generally speaking, the side you seem to agree with on things, not the brightest right now.
This garbage. It's all fabricated, made up trash. Now, I have a question for anyone who believes in this.
Okay. Although saying believe in, like I believe the sun is out, I believe my computer is powered on, I believe I'm sitting in this chair, I believe there's the remains of a 2-liter soda sitting here, it's that kind of belief, but you're using it in a different way. You're creating a compounding of theological analogies here. It's a little subtle tactic y'all always do because you want to turn everything into a religion, into a religion, even if you don't realize you're doing it. And yes, I realize I think I missed addressing something he said, but he has just been spewing out random crap in what looks like a damn panic attack. This would almost be funny if I knew anything about the guy. I could check out other videos of theirs, but I'm not interested in it. Let's just see where he goes with this question, though.
If you actually believe this, I have a question. You believe if you went to your grandfather's family tree and you went down the line long enough and you said his granddad, his great grand, his great, and you said his great 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 granddad, and so on, you'd get to an ape, you'd get to a chimpanzee.
No, angry Scottish dude. You wouldn't. Or is he Welsh? I can't quite tell the accents apart sometimes, because it depends, because Scottish accents can vary wildly. Um, no, angry, non-English gentleman. Um, you wouldn't run into a chimpanzee because they are a different branch. They're like our cousins. There's a common ancestor pretty close by, but we didn't come from chimps. And this baseline elementary ass misconception that we came from monkeys, you're passively I'm amazed you haven't done the if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys line. But no, we are taxonomically apes, which is a subset of old world monkeys. We are primates, we are apes. That is not up for debate. I mean, none of this is really up for debate. You guys just want to make it into an argument, and we entertain your bullshit mostly for comedic value. But we are apes. You are an ape. Looking at this shot of your head, there, go through any taxonomic classification and see what fits, and you'll be surprised to find that the particular cranial structure you have, the forward facing eyes, the nose in the position it is, downward facing instead of being more like a snout, your dentition, so many other factors are ape traits. And then refinements on those traits are what make you human, primarily to diminish jaws, etc. That's one of those kind of key traits that resulted in us having the bigger brain cases we had. And, that's how ape gets smart. supposedly smart, given the way people are. Um, so you are an ape. This question is ridiculous, and yeah, if you did have a way to go back far enough, which would take a good long while, you would reach a point where if you were to contrast what you were looking at to modern humans, you'd notice pretty drastic differences, yet plenty of similarities. And as you kept going back, things would be that little bit more and more different because that's how evolution works over long sequences of time, over generations, excuse me, through populations.
Are you a fool? The answer is yes if you permanently
God, I forgot the amount of angry that was coming. Oh man.
believe in that. It's ridiculous. You believe your ancestors are chimpanzees. Like, seriously. But this is what the schooling system teaches. The liberal system teaches in school, in science books, like factual books, that we come from monkeys. Complete garbage. But in terms of evolution, as a whole, evolution does exist. Evolution definitely does exist. You can see this in like animal species, but it doesn't disprove God at all. It's just a mechanism that God created.
Oh, this fucker. Oh. Hey, look, Shy Man Dan. And an Arnraw's recent video, which I need to watch, and some stuff on King of the Hill, and that live performance of Subways of Your Mind, you know, the most mysterious song on the internet, and stuff about jets, and some video about monkeys and Sir Sick, and yeah, Professor Dave talking about Chris Lang, and for some fucking reason, if I may go on one of my many little tirades here, for some fucking reason, YouTube thinks that I give a flying fuck about the YouTuber Illuminati, which is a tired out ass joke name anyway, that people were doing well better before she did her shit. Whatever the fuck drama there is with her, for some reason YouTube thinks I care about it, even though I have told it repeatedly I'm not interested. I watched precisely one piece of content on it out of sheer curiosity, found it to be boring shit, just people seeking drama attention, and every time I see the stuff, I'm like, not interested, not interested, and it keeps coming. I don't care about Potato Face or whatever the fuck she did, all right? You get that through your head, YouTube? Okay. Thank you for coming to my, you know, my TED talk, my whatever talk. I don't know. Let's look at the chat. Brock be like, they'd be like, evolution is really false because hey, get back to you on that. Yep. Austin popping in. South channel's called Evidence and Reasons. Deeply ironic. Deeply ironically, if you want to check his garbage out, he's a small fry with just over 1,000 subs. Ah, so I'd be punching slightly above my weight class, but not much. Or be like, this thing says a thing. Yeah, exactly, Brock. Usually my book says a thing. But I think he is one worth taking on because he has the veneer of academic credibility, because he has some degrees. Okay, I might just make a second stream specifically for that. Everyone's saying hi to Brock. Yep, definitely check out Brock. He is angry. Yeah. Brock, if you haven't noticed, has for the past couple of times it's been an option called in to Kent Hoven's open mics, and I caught him on my live when I was covering Kent's open mic. Or no, it wasn't an open mic. It was just one of his normal videos, and at the end he had asked a question in the chat, and I gave mad props to him, and then YouTube suggested Brock's very channel to me, one of his videos, and I'm like, hey, I recognize that name. Let me go check this out. Left comment. Kid's all right. Say it like that, like the most friendly of ways. Like, you're all right, buddy. Hopefully nothing changes that. And at this stage in the universe, you can't trust anybody, but we will see. Nah, you're good. And Brock, we will plan something if this weekend is good. Plan a time to just chit chat about evolution and the like. I can tell you pretty much every creationist argument can be boiled down to one argument that our favorite inmate uses all the time. Evolution means an amoeba gave birth to a whale. Bingo. And that amoeba came fresh out of a rock. Austin dropping the very refined facts on us. They just use straw man arguments over and over ad infinitum until everybody is sick of discussing the subject with them, and they conflate that as winning the argument. Yep, they basically crap all over the chessboard and then flip it. Not a chimp, but a different ape. Exactly. See, you get it. You understand it. So, should I join this stream? Was that for the weekend? No, that's for the weekend. We'll plan something out definitely. What is up? If you haven't gathered by now, it is random, just evolutionist stuff that came up when I searched evolution is false. We just got the angry Scottish / Welsh / non-English guy just being freaking weird. You're right, that is garbage. The books say apes. Oh man. Aircraft, yeah. I'm big into space, rocketry, aeronautics. Cool stuff. I still cry a little every day knowing that the 747 is no longer in production. And that it's not used for passenger service pretty much at all in the US. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. Don't cry on the floor. You and I will chat soon. I said that so menacingly. You and I will chat soon. No. We'll definitely plan it out. You have to just get in contact with me in some way to schedule something. I mean, my email's in my channel about section. So, and yeah, I make a ton of typos too. So don't worry. I can barely speak right. Let the record show I have a limited understanding of English. But all right. I had a follow up. Let's see. It was this video titled Debunking All the Proofs of Evolution. Wow. oh, you amuse me, Brock. All right, let's make sure everything looks good. Okay, cool. It did Restream did everything right on this end. All right. So, this is a video from Answers in Genesis Canada, debunking all the best so-called proof of evolution. In this video, Calvin Smith goes over each major proof, exposes the issues with them, and emphasizes the reliability of the biblical creation account. So, we're getting the same shit, different day, different creationist. But let's make it happen.
The fossil record proves evolution happened. Don't you idiots understand science? Evolution is a fact. No matter what specific topic you're discussing regarding the creation-evolution debate, whenever an
There's no debate. You guys just whine and complain all the time.
article or video is posted where the comment section's open, comments like the ones I just said are sure to appear. And those are some of the nicer ones.
Yeah, as if no creationist, no theist has ever left horrible comments under an atheist's video. I see those all the time too. So why project this, self-righteous, we're being attacked, didn't do anything to deserve this, when if you dissect your perspective on reality, it's not only pretty sickening in multiple facets, but you're outright denying what reality is, denying clear and evident facts, and trying to force what amounts to a mental slavery onto people. And I can't support that.
And I can honestly see why. Growing up the way I did, with no influence from the church, the Bible, or even any deistic religious viewpoint whatsoever, the story of evolution was so firmly established in my mind as science and fact that anyone who questioned it seemed rather untethered from reality to me.
Because they are. I mean, to the degree you guys reject actual science, yeah, you're tethered from reality. Yet simultaneously embracing science to, put this video on the internet. That's all fine, but the moment it starts to put your Magic Sky Daddy and your Book of Fables into a lesser and lesser space of relevance, you get upset.
I found it hard not to view them with intellectual contempt, as anyone denying the overwhelming proof of the story of evolution based on facts like dinosaur fossils, ape men skulls, the 98% similarity.
Ape men? Is that like a dog canine? You know, a fly insect? A spider arachnid? Tuna fish? Because that's fucking redundant. Uh, yeah. Just come on, guys. Little things like that, you don't even demonstrate you don't know what you're talking about. Like, straight up. Or that you're being intentionally deceptive. It's you can't discuss the subject without lying. It's amazing.
Between chimp and human DNA, the geologic column, etc., seemed idiotic, to put it bluntly. I truly remember feeling just that harshly towards those I considered what would today be called science deniers. And when you feel that you have the full weight of
God, look at this ridiculous appeal to emotion. I was one of the bad guys, and then I tried Jesus, and suddenly I became nice. Eat a dick, dude. Also, the story's full of shit. You know why I call it out as full of shit? Because you can't trust a creationist. Because you're professional liars. Everyone in the lead in the church is a professional liar. Higher up you are, the more you lie. Get fucked.
science and an avalanche of truth in support of your.
And yes, I realize my cynicism and snark on this to some people would prove his point. To that I counter, I can detect this kind of lying asshole from a mile away, and I'm going to call them out on their bullshit. I'm not going to play the nice guy, because you give a creationist an inch, they take a mile. Which is funny, since they believe you can walk an inch but not a mile.
Beliefs, any opinion in contradiction to it seems so weak and dismissible as to be beneath serious consideration. And of course, the internet tends to encourage some bad behavior sometimes. I think of it metaphorically like a gang leader that's so sure of himself, with all of his backup behind him ready to help him out whenever he wants. But what if he spun around to find out that there was no one standing there to rely on? You see, that's just what happened to me when I was finally challenged in my belief in materialism and had to present the evidence in support of it.
Which, if the story is true, demonstrates you know precisely fuck all about the very subject you're discussing. That you knew jack diddly shit about what the real world actually fucking is. And your gullibility to be swayed by the inanity of creationist arguments, let alone just theistic arguments, but especially creationist ones. But you're supposed to be able to debunk all, all the best proofs in 12 minutes. And we're already almost 2 minutes through the video, so you ain't got too much time. That's if it's 10 of them, that's a minute of proof. Let's do this. Shut up with your preamble. I'm the one who gets paid to ramble on, not you.
And when I was asked what the best proofs of evolution I could muster were, I turned around with all this cockiness and confidence I could portray.
And said that proof only matters in math and not in science?
And found out that many of the proofs I'd put my faith and trust in had disappeared without me knowing it.
Note that he put the distinction between faith and trust. This is another attempt at the religion analogy for evolution, and this idea that everyone has to have a religion or something that fills that the concept of religion as a perfect analog to Christianity, because the only use of faith that would apply to evolution is a trust in the science. So he either said the trust and trust I had, or he's trying to make the religious connotation, because it can't just be weird verbiage, right? It's always, I said that like I'm almost offending him. No, it's never weird verbiage. It's always intentional with them. They use weird language to plant little seeds in people's heads, the believers, to reinforce the bullshit.
A hallmark of evolutionary thinking is the idea of change over time. And this notion certainly plays itself out whenever someone asks the question, what are the best proofs of evolution? especially if we were to do so throughout history. What if we were to do that from way back in the day all the way up to the 2000s? For example, let's begin by
Good. We get a good one just before he gets into something. Brock says, I thought proof in science was rare. I thought that science was about being confident beyond reasonable doubt. It is. Proof really only exists in mathematics as a concept. You have plenty of evidence for things in science, and we can form extremely well thought out and very accurate models to develop understanding of reality. But you never truly have proof in that, you know, science isn't figuring out a historic event like, Pompeii detonating in 79 AD, That's a field of scientific research, a field of historical research, archaeology figuring that out. That's got its own particular nuances to it, but in like raw logical science, trying to think of, how does the universe work? How does electricity flow? You know, it doesn't flow the way you think it does. I guarantee you, it doesn't flow the way you think it does. You know, how does evolution work? Lots of little facets have to be um, thought of. Lots of aspects. You know, orbits of the planets. You can do the math on that, and so you can have proof of the orbital logic of the actual values. But the core concept is still kind of an abstraction, kind of an after. I don't want to call it an afterthought, but it's one of those cases where I'm having trouble with words because I don't quite know words that form the emotion that I want to put into things, the way of looking at it, the perspective that I want. It's weird. That's the only thing I can say. It's weird, but a lot of science in these kinds of subjects are abstractions of reality to understand things better. Um, if that makes sense. God, words.
asking that question at the time of the launch of the book that's the bedrock of modern evolutionary thought, Darwin's Origin of Species. Well, in 18
Thank you, Urs. Yeah, one fails to disprove in science. It's not the same as proof. Because all we can do is see that like a given methodology works, accurately describes aspects of whatever is trying to be tested, and repeat that and see that it keeps on happening.
1959, you might have been presented with Neanderthal man as proof of our evolutionary ancestry, even though they'd been found 4 years earlier and had already been declared fully human by a professional anatomist. However,
All human is a particular grouping of these particular types of apes that are the closest relatives to us. And they're going to be human because they're classed as Homo neanderthalensis. Homo going for human. It's like these words, they don't mean what you think they mean.
the release of Darwin's book fueled a search for fossils of imagined ape-like ancestors of man in the evolution-believing community. And lo and behold, 4 years later, Irish geologist William King decided to re-examine the fossil skull of Neanderthal man and promptly decided that he was an ape-like creature. And many variations of this idea were
Again, that's like saying you have a dog canine, an elephant mammal. What you're saying doesn't make sense. And the most you could be getting at is someone refining the features and the traits based on the skull so that their recreations and depictions of what the creature probably looked like would be less like a modern human, and in his case probably more accurate to what the creature actually would have looked like based on, I forget the term used for it, but the science where you can reconstruct like facial features and anatomical features from a skeleton. You can see and figure based on sometimes intuition, how the structure of the everything on top would have been. They do it in a reconstruction of found remains all the time to try to piece together who the person might have been. Sometimes to great success.
Were propagated as science and fact for well over 150 years afterwards. Today, of course, evolutionists have admitted their true humanity, which is why they're designated as Homo, which means human, Neanderthals. And definitive confirmation.
Oh, you saw that too? Because yeah, apparently, yeah, just so we can be racist, you know. Oh, me being racist. That's funny. That's fucking funny. Let's go on and ask the people around me, am I racist? Because Kent would probably accuse me of that. He would. Which is funny given his track record. Kent said that shit and I took it personally.
Information comes from no less than Dr. Eric Trinkhaus, an evolution-believing paleoanthropologist, considered one of the world's foremost authorities on Neanderthal man, who's concluded,
Would you stop saying Neanderthal, man? It's just Neanderthal. You're talking like you came straight out of Korean War era America. The fuck, dude?
detailed comparisons of
Oh, right, I forgot. Nothing about creationists is current.
Neanderthal skeletal remains with those of modern humans have shown that there's nothing in Neanderthal anatomy that conclusively indicates locomotor, manipulative, intellectual, or linguistic abilities inferior to those of modern humans.
Yeah. What's your point? Oh, right. You're still running with the outdated idea that Neanderthals were primitive humans when they weren't. They were, as put in the comments of this very video, where was that? Where was that nice comment right there? Where'd it go? I'm gonna find it. There we go. Bro, Neanderthals are our cousins. Yeah, they are our cousins. Like if chimps, actually, hell, if chimps are our cousins, then Neanderthals were effectively brother from another mother kind of thing. As far as human evolution goes, hominid evolution goes, very closely related.
Now,
to the point where we could interbreed. And that there's a good chance several of us in this chat have noticeable quantities of Neanderthal DNA in our genome, which is one of the reasons I want to take one of those genomic tests so I can find out how much Neanderthal I may or may not have in me. Also, the potential of me being related to Genghis Khan, because that man's genetics are everywhere, supposedly. Although I'd buy it. Fucking weird, man. Fucking weird.
obviously, humans evolving into humans isn't exactly proof of evolution. So you can scratch them off the list, as Neanderthals certainly aren't proof positive of evolution anymore.
Why do they exist? Why are their structures different from us? He didn't explain anything. And I know, the whole you can't explain that, therefore it's wrong thing, is bullshit that creationists do, and we wouldn't take that from them. But as a creationist, you would need to have some account for the why on that. Why would there be a whole batch of hominid that's noticeably distinct? Still very close, but noticeably distinct. That's just gone. Oh, wait, of course you would just claim, no, they were just normal people. Because that's your get out of jail free card.
However, moving on to 1861, you may have finally found yourself presented with some rock-solid proof in the form of a missing link between dinosaurs and birds, called Archaeopteryx. Good old Archie was...
So, Brock, I forget who did the video, but I watched a video on could have been Professor Dave, but I feel like it might not have been. But it explained the three major ethnic groups that combined in Europe to form the average European as we think of them now, and thus people of European descent. Pretty fascinating stuff. I forget who did the video though. If I find it, I'll try to forward it your way.
Was used for decades to convince people that a true transitional fossil between lizards and birds had been found. But alas, in 1977, an admitted true bird was found which dates, according to evolutionist methods, at 60 million years older than Archaeopteryx, which means Archae couldn't be the transition to birds from lizards if birds already existed.
No one would say that Archaeopteryx itself is. However, it represents a perfect middle point in such a transition. A fine snapshot of life making those changes. Of a dinosaur, quote unquote, becoming a bird, quote unquote, quote. As in, again, a population happening. That's the key takeaway from it.
Professor John Ostrom of Yale acknowledged, "We must now look for the ancestors of flying birds in a period of time much older than that in which Archaeopteryx lived." Indeed, far from being some unique dino bird, Archae shared much of its supposed unique anatomical structures with true birds that exist.
Well, yeah, you would expect that because those features developed. They had to start somewhere, sometime. And they must have been the earlier features to develop. I mean, this isn't hard, buddy.
Exist today, like the South American Hoatzin, for example. So much for Archaeopteryx as undeniable proof of evolution.
Sir, you're gonna have to pay for that book.
Now, by
Oh, good lord. I am so fucking tired of hearing people bitch about Haeckel's drawings. Whatever drama surrounded those drawings, much like any drama surrounding Darwin, which there isn't really much. Well, there's some, but it's neither here nor there. It's irrelevant. You can look at this stuff today with modern tech and observe what is documented. Regardless on if those first generation sketches, which were done to meet a production deadline for a publication deadline for the book, were faked or not, what was observed is evident to this very second. This is the most just bullshit, desperate thing that creationists pull in the whole misinformation campaign side of things.
1868, maybe the most cutting-edge proof presented to you might have been the supposed shocking similarity of animal and human embryos, and the discovery that humans recapitulated or relived their evolutionary ancestry while developing in the womb. Of course, modern science has shown that the idea that you start off like a worm, then become more like a fish, then become an ape-like creature, and finally a human while growing in your mom is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, no evidence on that drawing. Last I saw, 06/45/2017 had said that they did get evidence of the trial. It was just a tribunal inside of the college, the university, or whatever. But still hasn't actually, brought up anything of value. Not that it's relevant at all to anything, but, what do we know? We're just people who value truth, honesty, facts, logic. Just hitting up the chat. All right, there's modern microphotography that shows those drawings were mildly misleading at best for the creationists, if not really at all. Yeah, I mean, they were a bit of repetition, a bit of simplification, but it got the point across. And then when the better drawings could be put in, they were put in. And then as we got camera tech, macro lenses, being able to do the microphotography of these things, We were able to see exactly what he had observed, and now in photographic form rather than just sketches. I mean, you know what book has no pictures at all? The Bible. It has very little for a reference book. It's really lacking in actual data. It's just things. Hey, how to roll an asteroids here? Hell yeah! Getting the crew together. I know I started streaming a little early. It's 4:30, so people might pop up. It's more my normal time. Good bloody morning. Now where's my coffee? It's wherever you believe it is. In your heart. Or at the Starbucks down the way, or whatever you've got in your neck of the planet. Neck of the planet. Planets had necks, that'd be weird. Huh. Anyway, I'm just being completely stupid. Yeah, they didn't like it much at work today either. Oh, yes, how to roll an asteroid is Jess. I have to remember that.
Ridiculous and would be laughed at by any educated person today. And Haeckel's embryo drawings have now been admitted to being completely fraudulent.
Yeah, those first ones, which is irrelevant. And they weren't even completely fraudulent. They were a rush job, a little copy paste fill to get the publication out. That's it. Y'all want to make such a massive deal over this. What about all the creationist lies? Should we make massive deals over those? Like, seriously. People like Kent get so pissed when we bring up random stuff they've lied about. Yet they love to bring up this shit all the time, when in the end, it's pretty damn harmless. And doesn't change the fact that we, again, can observe exactly what phenomena he was depicting in the drawings.
Forgeries made by this supposed great scientist's own hand, and the similarity argument has been shown false as well. And yet they were in textbooks up until my youngest daughter was in school just 15 years ago here in Canada. As evolution-believing embryologist Michael Richardson concluded, this is one of the worst cases of scientific fraud. It's shocking to find that somebody once thought was a great scientist was deliberately misleading. It makes me angry. What he, Haeckel, did was to take a human embryo and copy it. These are fakes.
Okay. Don't really care what some random guy says. Like, really, honestly, all these constant citations creationists do for what random people here, there, everywhere have said is really irrelevant to me. Because all I care about is the data and the consensus.
So obviously, these embryo arguments are no longer proof of evolution either.
Sir, please leave the Barnes & Noble. You're ruining our books.
Now, by 1879, you may have felt scientists finally had the proof of evolution, as the American Journal of Science published an impressive diagram showing the supposed evolutionary
Oh god, yeah. Brock popping in with another good one. I bet that people will fake evidence for creation to trick you into believing that young Earth things are true. But evolutionists don't try to trick you into evolution. I mean, there's people who have come up with some stupid stuff, but that's usually for, them trying to play a prank on people. What was it? Piltdown Man? Effectively, 17th century trolling. 17th, oh no, that'd be the 1600s. 19th century trolling, excuse me. Sorry, I got my century slash year system, year thing backwards. Yeah, but we've got like things like the Ika stones that are known bullshit, but someone like Kent will still treat them like something special. And I'm not intending to bring up Kent constantly. It's just he's kind of the central factor to a lot of our discussion, a lot of examples of everything wrong with creationists. Evolutionists already think that many others accept evolution, so they may fake discovery for fame or money, but not to get you to believe evolution itself. This can totally be a thing. People can do stuff, can lie, can be deceptive, all for personal gain. That is kind of a key reason of people doing it. Usually, scientific, world will pick up on that people will catch bullshitters and they'll be ousted from the groups. But bullshitters are welcome in creationist groups, because if you're lying for Jesus, it's okay. If you come up with the best evidence ever for this or that in evolution, but it turns out to be complete bullshit, the scientific community will just say, get the fuck out of here. But if you lie for Jesus, creationists just take you in. It's weird.
Development of horses, which found its way into many other publications and textbooks for years. Now, today, this proof of evolution has been abandoned because of the many severe challenges brought against it.
These are tiny little segments of specific fields and specific pieces of research that are being treated like they're just the biggest things ever. It's like, you're not talking about geology, the actual nature of the fossil record, genetics, anything of the sort. You're just bringing up random crap. That'd be like picking one random passage out of the Bible and saying because that one passage says something silly, the whole thing is bullshit. And while it may seem like atheists do that, that's not the case. We're smart enough to understand you got to look at the whole thing. But as you look at the whole thing, you see, no, this continues to be bullshit pretty much front and back. Hence, kicking it to the curb. Whereas with evolutionary science, even if some of the shit he says is true or has value as something, wrong, which so far there hadn't been anything, that would really just apply to that one particular point of data. And if it is wrong, it would be corrected. Because again, it's a self-correcting process, and scientists are the first ones to call out each other out on their bullshit. So this does not go where he thinks it goes.
For example, if the series were true, you'd expect to find the earliest fossils in the lowest rock strata. But you don't. In fact, bones of the supposed earliest horses have been found at or near the surface. Sometimes they're found right next to modern horse fossils. But instead of me listing all of the challenges here, I'll quote the evolutionist curator at the American Museum of Natural History, Dr. Niles Eldridge. I admit that an awful lot of that has gotten into the textbooks as though it were true. For instance, the most famous example still...
Hold up, we got some random clown in here. Jenna's Kowalski! Whoever believes in evolution usually believes in Big Bang Theory. Both are contradicting laws of logic and real science. If you wish I can explain. No, don't care, because you're going to say the same crap we've all constantly heard 1,000 times. And no, they both are contradictory of law. Neither of them are contradictory laws of logic. And what you call real science, that word, I don't think it means what you think it means.
Still on exhibit downstairs in the American Museum is the exhibit on horse evolution prepared perhaps 50 years ago. That has been presented as literal truth in textbook after textbook. Now I think that's lamentable, particularly because the people who propose these kinds of stories themselves may be aware of the speculative nature of some of the stuff. So obviously the horse evolution series isn't irrefutable proof of
Sir, I've called the police.
Evolution either. Well, maybe by 1893 they'd show you the good stuff, the so-called scientific evidence of vestigial organs inside of us. These were supposed evidence of useless leftover parts inside us from our supposed...
I will give this guy credit. I don't think he said evidences. So there's that.
Evolutionary past. And by this time, evolution-believing scientists like German anatomist Robert Widersham was claiming that our bodies contained over 86 of these useless organs, including the thymus,
Look, we got a little Kenhoven dick sucker here. Show me just one example for each. Life come from non-life. Nothing come from everything. Or even something. You didn't call shit. You're a fucking clown. Go back to Kenhoven's channel and keep sucking his dick. Get the fuck out of here, dumbass. Like, I'm not putting up with y'all's bullshit. You're just idiots.
muscles, adenoids,
Thank God, maybe I should have fucking done what I originally wanted to do today and just turn this into an open mic. That would have been fun to roast them just on the mic itself.
valves in veins, the parathyroid, and the pineal and pituitary glands. Of course, not only have all now been shown to be functional, but some have been shown to be critical for life itself. Today's doctors would consider that old list laughable. And over the years, the list of so-called vestigial organs has shrunk to a handful of highly questionable examples, even within the evolutionary community itself. Even the most commonly touted of all, the appendix, is now recognized as a highly specialized organ with a rich blood.
Oh my God, I have not been muted the entire time, have I? Please tell me I have not been muted the entire fucking time since I paused. Did y'all hear my wonderful vestige analogy? God damn it, I was muted. So what I said during the time I was muted, because I have a nasty habit of tapping the button and not double checking, is that vestigial doesn't mean useless. It just means it's a vestige of what it was. It's a reduced, otherwise lesser form of what it was. In that, sorry, I'm reading the chat as it goes on. Hey, give me credit. At least I catch my stuff. It's an amazing analogy. God, see, I don't even know what did or didn't come up for you guys. In that, yeah, if you had a building, tore down most of it, but an annex of it, let's say, a little section, an appendix, if you will, of the building, remained, you may not have the full building. It may have certainly lost all its splendor and most of its purpose, but that last little annex would still be a useful building because it's just how stuff works. Things get repurposed. In fact, you'd expect that with evolutionary constructs, stuff to be left behind and kind of pick up different uses just as nature wound up seeing fit. And I know that anthropomorphizes nature. I'm not saying it has intent. It's just how things wind up being. Things that have purposes tend to stick around in some form or another, and things that don't usually atrophy away, or only partially, whereas another purpose that they do takes over. It's really convoluted, but it's fact.
Blood supply that manufactures several types of antibodies. It's not some useless relic. And it's not just the fact that these vestigial organ claims kept getting knocked off the list. It's the fact that the whole concept itself is a terrible proof of evolution to begin with. Ultimately,
I am not Ghost Yamato. Yamato is very much still alive. But as for our little theist friend earlier, I just, that fucking clown. It's like, good God, you're bullshit. Nah, dude, nah. Life is chemicals doing what chemicals do. Creating something from nothing is what your magic sky daddy supposedly did. The actual nuances of science with regards to um, the quote-unquote origin of the universe are, like so many things that creationists don't understand, very, very nuanced. Um, Good point, Phantom. Not purpose, useful function. Yeah. It's always hard, it's tricky to use accidentally using language that's slightly loaded into when you're describing something and trying to avoid playing that game. Why aren't there Denisovian ghosts? because they all went to Boomba Zone. I don't know. I'm just being stupid. But yeah, origins of the universe in of itself are one, irrelevant to evolution. So dude can fuck off there. And two, are something we're still trying to piece together because once you get to T0, physics breaks down. So it becomes a little difficult to try to describe existence outside of actual reality. It's just how it works. So, you know. Sorry, I'm a little burnt out here. Just between accidentally muting myself and that guy.
Evolution is about how supposedly new structures, forms, functions, and features came to exist, not about the degeneration of.
Yes, and if Kent cares so much about debating me, we all know he can get his stupid ass on the phone or have his crew send an email to me and schedule something on my terms. Because Ken Hovind is too much of a fucking coward to actually actively debate someone on their own terms. It always has to be his. And I'll call him out on that bullshit till the day he drops dead. Because fuck Kent.
Of existing structures over time. Something that used to have a function but no longer does is no direct help to the story of evolution. So these once great proofs of evolution,
Sir, the cops are here. Leave.
have ended up in the dustbin as well. Now,
Oh, good fucking God, Piltdown Man. Dude, fuck off. Alright, you... who the fuck is this dude? Calvin Smith? You are the most dishonest piece of shit I've dealt with in the past 22 hours. The fuck, bro? Go eat a dick.
by 1912, you'd finally have been shown some truly dynamic fossil evidence found in a gravel pit near Piltdown in England. The skull of an ancient ape man dubbed Piltdown Man was presented as overwhelming proof of our evolutionary ancestry. And for 40 years, this supposed proof was displayed in museum exhibits and textbooks as proof positive that human beings had descended from ape-like ancestors, with hand-drawn scientific images of what the creature must have looked like. But once again, 4 decades later,
You've heard of Dennis the Menace. You might have grown up watching David the Gnome. Now get ready for Calvin the Calvinist. Show's canceled 3 minutes into its first episode. They didn't even make it through the opening sequence.
the evidence was re-examined and revealed as a fraud. It wasn't even a good fraud, as you could easily see how the teeth from a jawbone had been filed down to make them look more human, and the bones had been chemically treated to make
The teeth from a jawbone? From what jawbone? Yeah, you're trying to tell the story like it proves something more than what it does, in that sometimes people come up with frauds and scientific community detects that shit, thus verifying what I said earlier, but you can't even get the entire statement in there. You accidentally the sentence, you dumb fuck.
make them look very old. It was simply a combination of an old human skull and a modern ape jawbone stuck together. So much for that proof of evolution.
At this point, I'm just imagining a scenario where the cops have drawn their guns on this guy, and he's still just ripping pages out of the book. The Barnes & Noble staff are just looking in disbelief. All the patrons have been told to leave. Latte's still sitting there at the cafe, and they're just presuming this dude is a complete sociopath.
But wait, by 1917, just 5 years later in the US,
Oh God, now we're at Nebraska, man. This is why I love Chris. He says exactly what I'm thinking. It's like, get out of my brain, Chris. Piltdown, man, are you fucking kidding me? Could have said it better myself, dude. Oh, I'm glad you can appreciate it. Yeah, my absolute lack of give a fuck is my My strong point. I mean, what's going to happen? People get upset. Oh no, I said a bad word. Oh, man. Yeah, as a bibliophile, I'm ready to throw hands right now. Yeah. I wouldn't even do that to a book on phrenology. Yeah, because while I may not agree with what is in a given book, I would want the book to exist for information's sake as a record of those thoughts, of the ideas, even as horrendous as they are. Many books might well come to mind on that. Um, it just it's just wrong. That's all I can really say. It's just fucking wrong.
They found some powerful evidence for evolution when a Nebraskan rancher found what he thought was a special kind of tooth on his farm. And an evolution-believing paleontologist friend of his was excited at the prospect it must have come from an ape man. And after an artist applied a healthy helping of evolutionary imagination to his picture, he produced a portrait of Nebraska Man, a hairy ape man,
Nebraska man.
along with his ape woman wife in a scientific journal. And
Ape woman wife. Once again. Is that like my cat feline and her two daughter cat felines in there?
this was touted as great scientific proof for evolution. However, several years later, scientists confirmed that the tooth had come from a pig. The whole fiasco had nothing to do with apes or people. It had everything to do with evolutionary presuppositions that drove.
Guys, this stream's been a disaster. Brock has abandoned us. Guys, I now know that all of evolution is false. I have seen the light. Because a dude from 100 years ago made a mistake or said something rude or dumb. My friend, you have 100% gotten every single aspect of creationist argumentation like this. You've nailed it. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. Because there are no frauds in creation, right? Not a Dr. Kent Bovine. Like I said earlier, he thinks the Ica stones are still valid, and he's like the only one, so.
False conclusions, all based on laughably flimsy evidence. So you can toss that.
Motherfucker, stop ripping up the fucking book, you piece of shit. I don't care if that book is just lorem ipsum over and over. Stop doing it. There's only one book that you can destroy like that. And that is a book titled Wreck This Journal, because that's the intent of the book, is to ruin it, and it becomes a documentation of everything that's gone on with it. It's a wonderful art piece. I need to get myself a new copy, like of the later editions, and try it again. Because I still have my original copy, but that's been with that. I got that like 11 years ago. And so much stuff is irrelevant in it now. And I kind of don't want records of what I was thinking at that time, how I was feeling, you know. Sometimes you just don't want memories to hang around, you know?
Proof of evolution away as well. So we'll end here for now. But
yeah, we are going to end here for now, at least with your stuff. Brock asking, should I do my own open mic someday? If you feel the urge, StreamYard, and if you feel like dealing with a bit of a headache, Restream here, are platforms which allow such. Just understand there's gonna be some wild people that come in. You just gotta be ready to just do it and be confident. And it may seem rude, and I need to work on this personally, but don't give people too much room. I joked earlier, you give an inch, they'll take a mile, but they seriously will. So you just have to know when to call people out on stuff, when to cut people off, when to, sometimes double down on your own stuff. Just go with confidence. You can't show weakness around some of these people. it's the internet. Standard internet rules apply. But yeah, there's just a particular way you've got to do things when you have an open community happening. It's the best way I can phrase it right now. I'm tired, guys. I had to do a bunch of bullshit at work. Because unlike some people, I had to do an actual fucking job today. Can you believe that? Some of us have to actually work. We don't just go on the internet and lie about magic people made out of dust and rib women and other crazy shit and just get money thrown at us. What a sick, sad world we're in. There's a random bang outside in the distance. These frauds are legit. The only thing about evolution I was taught high school biology. Yeah. In my biology class, when evolution was mentioned, the teacher was weird, right? This guy was a Korean War vet. And he was in tanks. Somewhat involved in a tank somewhere. I never got to ask details. I really wish, I'm sure he's good passed on now. It's been 20 years almost, but actually, it's been more than 20 years. Sorry, I thought it was still like 2002 or 2022. Excuse me. I'm thinking back to 2002. It's been over 20 years, so he's probably gone now. But yeah, he when it got to evolution in biology, we very quickly skipped past that. And his tests were weird. All of his work consisted of copying handwritten notation that he had made like decades ago. And the test was just rote memorization of these things. You'd literally fill it in from, again, a handwritten thing. And I had trouble reading his handwriting, so it was a bit of a problem. But I remember distinctly that when it got to talking about evolution, he made sure to put in the "some people believe" line. And that was really my first brush with the idea that people legitimately didn't believe actual science. And of course, in retrospect, I realized that subject was always kind of avoided. But I was a kid who'd watch Discovery Channel back when it was good. Um, TLC back when it was an actual channel instead of just whatever the hell it became. You know, good shit. Relatively good shit back in the day for someone like me. So I had become aware of these processes and understood them to at least a degree, and understood and accepted science as valid. Um, but yeah, that just always stuck with me. Don't generalize he who shall not be named's behavior. Yeah, I'm not trying intrinsically to generalize that kind of extreme BS, but some people will do pretty crazy stuff. That's all I was saying on that regard. I had to stop using emergency toilet paper in my bathroom called. See, religious texts are kind of funny in that regard. And given that the Bible's the most printed book ever, it's kind of whatever. We'll see what Austin has to say on that. To a young Earth Creationist high school. Oh boy. Oh wait, I'm using the Bible legitimately, not throwing it in a waste paper basket. Yeah, at least it's serving a purpose. Oh, that was mean of me to say. Well, mean of us to say, I guess. Okay, so the question becomes, do I continue? We have been going for an hour now. I feel I've had a fun stream. Maybe not the most productive one, but I don't know if I want to necessarily. I definitely don't have the energy to move on to the Ken Ham video that I was thinking about doing. Maybe we can pop one more in. Bear with me a moment. Let's see. What's funny is going through this, you have a lot of Proverbs guys coming up, and I'm like, I don't want to watch any of their crap. One thing, it's like 5 or 6 hours. There's Kent Hovind. There's some Plants vs Zombie stuff. Let me share this tab, because sharing this tab. Share this tab instead. Yeah, there you go. We got Sir Sick. We got this fucking clown. Actually, fuck it. Let's watch whatever this stupid short is from this clown.
Life has been around.
So, this A Messenger of Truth is a guy you may have seen me do a couple of videos on. Recent one I covered is the one where he says that no Christians should support democracy. He's probably going to become the next lolcow that I really focus on in the creationist scene, since I'm taking a little break away from 06/45/2017. So yeah, let's see what he has to say with this Joe Rogan clip. Every atheist misses this about science and the Bible.
Around for what, 4 billion years? 4 billion years we've gone from single-celled organisms to the James Webb Telescope.
And that 4 billion years, there's a lot to say about that, by the way, because for 3 billion plus years of that on this planet, it was just single cells.
So everything that they just said was completely false, and
Yeah, says you, Mr. Weird Orange Room.
I'm going to prove it to you in this short video. Just stay with me. In Exodus
I'd rather not, but let's see what you have to say.
chapter 20, God said, "For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed."
You can hear it in the background. I'm so fucking sick and tired of the fact that Vivaldi's Winter has become a fucking meme because the composition's so fucking good. But people discovered it and I know it's 400 plus year old composition, but people discovered it a few years ago when I've known about it since middle school, listening to CDs of classical compositions, one of them being The Four Seasons. And it's like, wow, you guys are late to the party. But it can't just be a regular recording of Winter. No, it's got to be some hip hop remix that you put into your fucking YouTube short. Because, that's what's trendy. Also, this is this guy's shtick. He has this weird black and white text Bible thing that he just says random quotes from, and is just like, well, there you go.
Blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. So what do we get from this verse? Do we get billions of years? We have single-celled organisms that somehow mutate.
They didn't even know what a fucking cell is, dumbass. But no, of course we're not going to have that, because it's a magic book of bullshit.
Into more complex life. No, of course it says 6 days, not, billions or trillions of days. And so that's the end of the debate. There really is no debate. Man says this and God says this. Man is a liar, God is a truth speaker, so we should trust God. When it comes
He who shall not be named, you mean he was forever sloshed? First one, then the other. Ark and he who shall not be named did a stream. What a surprise. A $4.99 super chat from Deconstructing Lore. I've been at work and just saw the stream. Was that Answers in Genesis? Yeah, AIG Canada was what it was, as Phantom X points out. Sydney, I'm just getting warmed up. So cute. Greasy thinks the stream is his and not ours, right? Oh man, I'm held captive. I'm fucking doomed, man. I'm fucking doomed. Reading a verse of deep time. Yeah, that's it. That's his entire shtick in all his videos. We'll move on to him next, because why not?
comes to historical questions like how old is the earth, we need eyewitness testimony. And good thing we have eyewitness testimony from God himself. As much as I love
eyewitness testimony from God himself. Yes. Do you have sources to back that up? Other than Magic Book says a thing.
science, we can't use science to find out what happened in the past. Like, there's no experiment that I could perform to find out what happened in Israel in the 1st century AD.
If something big happened there and it's documented, that would show you what evidence to look for via archaeological studies. It's like how we know the Exodus didn't happen, because not only are the logistics of it insane in the quantity of Hebrews versus Egyptians, where there were more Hebrew slaves than Egyptians, and they could easily just taken over the place. The fact that doing the math of like a 2x2 line of them, or was it a single file line? Either way, that there were so many of them that that the first ones going would have reached the promised land before the last ones left Egypt, or the fact that all those people walking for 40 fucking years would have left a lot of remains everywhere of both biological and, various things, whatever the hell they left. I don't need this shield anymore. Oh, I don't need this, just leaving it everywhere. And you don't find that stuff. Amongst other, just inanities with the stories. So yeah, there's ways to figure out if something happened in Israel in 1 AD, if you know what you're looking for, or you just stumble across it and start trying to figure it out. It's kind of amazing how humans have this ability to think about things and use our previous experiences to try to figure out what might have actually happened. And that we've gotten really good at it. That's the real funny thing. We're really, really good at that. But some books as a thing.
What we need is testimony, and this is exactly what we have in Matthew chapter 19, where the Pharisees asked Jesus, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any reason at all? And Jesus said, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become.
And talking about the whole Tower of Babel thing, there's remnants of some large construction project in the area that people say is that, it's kind of a whatever case, because it's like, okay, if there was a large structure trying to be built by people in that era and it collapsed, I could understand that being a catalyst for a story like that, in much the same way that localized floods and other myths regarding floods would evolve into the Noah's Ark story. But let's just give that there was a quote unquote Tower of Babel, that still would have no value in the supernatural aspects, that the tower was some affront to a deity and he decided to scramble languages so people couldn't build it. The fuck's that? It's ridiculous. And intersex people non-existent? No, not according to most creationists.
One flesh, so they're no longer two but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. This verse proves that Jesus saw Genesis as the word of God.
Wow. Magic character in Jew 2 Electric Boogaloo, Judaism 2 Electric Boogaloo, excuse me, says that story events in Judaism 1.0 are valid. Wow. It's almost as if it was written to reference the previous text. And of course, it's going to validate some of the previous text where it finds value in it, but also contradict other things. Can you not understand the basic elements of storytelling in all of these religious mythos? How basal they are in the way humans create fictional universes? It's amazing. It really is. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on the internet. Adam was created intersex in their book. Very true. Eve is trans. Also, Sims Brock, I do an episode on evolution every weekend. That's an open mic sometimes. Yeah, that would be a really, really good one to tune into, or to call into. Honestly, better than calling into me for like information and science delivered in just a more straightforward way. I'm more about personality, mostly because I have a bombastic way of speaking and probably have several slight quirks psychologically. But yeah, Austin's show would definitely be one to pop in. So actively come in and tell me about your favorite evidence for evolution. Just have a conversation with me. If you do your own, I'm happy to come on and help you get started. Should I do one after this one? Followed up by, dang, you got more subscribers than video. Anyway. Oh. And, you know, I'd join in on that. I mean, I would be absolutely cool with joining in on that. I mean, shit, Austin, when could we get rolling on something like that? Because, as far as my audience and stuff is concerned, I'd be, oh, this dude's premiering a video now. The most useless answer to this tough question with 7 people watching. I have more people watching than him. Hell yeah. Wait, do I? Yep, 15 according to the software. Cool. This was one of the videos I was going to cover. 4 questions that might make you an atheist response. You know, reacting to him, reacting to a genetically modified skeptic would be kind of funny, but it's only 12 minutes, so this dude doesn't have much going on. How to show comments. Stream, yeah, it's built into StreamYard. That's why I recommend those pieces of software, Brock. It just depends on how you do. Using OBS, yeah, there's plugins, which I've still got to double check stuff that you've provided PhantomX and get going on that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I can easily end the stream here, and we can migrate over to Austin's channel and just have a fun little chat for a while. So yeah, I think I'll be doing that. Everyone, hit Austin Sims' channel and get ready for some fun chatting. That being that, I was planning on keeping the stream a bit short, lest I reached my super chat goal, which I didn't, but that's okay. It really is. Definitely more streams over the weekend, so make some time. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Can't tell you what to do. But yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out for a little while. Palm graphics is a nod to what he's doing with his other hand. Probably. Yeah, this art is pretty freaking weird. Yeah, we will do Austin's channel. He's definitely ready to go, and I know he's got a setup that's going to be solid. Not to say you won't as time goes on, Brock, but we just want to make sure everything goes smooth. We definitely want to ease you into some streaming and the like, because there's a bit of work that goes into using like StreamYard and Restream to make some things happen. Hence why Kent's channel streams look like shit all the time, and you can't hear half the crap. Because Kent has everyone else do all the work, and because of his inane ass setup, no one can hear shit. But yeah, Austin, send me the link in Discord, and I will be there. Actually, shit, I'm gonna have to think of a way to get it to Brock. Actually, Brock, are you on Discord? Because if you are, there is a solution. Sorry, I'm firing up Discord here. Takes forever. Seriously, anyone else just tired of Discord taking the time it does to load up? No matter what you do, it's like 15 updates. Can't be that much effort. It can't be. Just start the damn application. It's not hard. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. Okay, I was going to put my my Discord link in there. It's being stupid. Hidden use copy button. See, it's funny. It actually literally copies hidden use copy button if I try to if I try to pull up the thing and put it in the chat. So Discord just being dumb. Discord's special. Discord is very special. Oh well, we'll get that figured out down the line. All right, so I'm going to end things here, and back and forth getting dinner going. Yeah, I'm going to hop on off here, and yeah, Austin, just get me with that that link, and yeah, we'll make things happen. Again, thanks for watching the stream, everybody. Sorry the tail end was just kind of a bit rambly, but yeah, catch you later.